Okay, hello everybody. I want to welcome you back to another edition of Let's Talk. Today I'm very glad to have Sean Munemo on the line with me. And so let's talk what it means to walk by faith. And we're going to have a chat with this good young man. We're going to have some fun. And we're just going to talk around things of life and how God has shaped and made things work for us. So Shauna, welcome, brother. Great to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everybody.
Excellent.
Hello, Pastor Sheldon. How are you doing?
All good, my buddy. It's fantastic to see you and be able to connect. And that's so, bro, what I would love you to do is, 2020 has been an interesting year for many people in many ways, including yourself. Why don't you kind of sum 2020 up for us in a couple of words of what do you think it means to you?
I would say 2020, it's learning to walk by faith and not by sight. I would say 2020, that's for me, because everything is unpredictable. You can never predict where you're going. So it's actually like, okay, cool. I trust you, Lord, and I trust you alone.
Yeah, that's good. That's exactly it, eh? And maybe just sum yourself up in a couple of words. What words would you use to describe Sean Munemo?
Sean Munemo, I'll say lion, first of all, lion. Yes. Positive dude. And I like to, I'll say adventurous, positive, adventurous, and very energetic. I got tons of energy in me that I don't even know where to keep it. So I would say Sean is very energetic, very lion-minded. Everything I do, lion attitude, and a guy that just love life, man. I love this life we go to live.
Come on, that's awesome. Well, I'll add in there good looking as well, bro. You're a good looking dude. Hey? Okay, so what we're going to do just to get the call kicked off, we're going to do some general knowledge. I'm going to test your skills there as a young man. So there's a couple of categories that you can choose from that you want to be a part of and want to see. So I've got geography, I've got history, I've got sports, I've got politics, food and drink, music, celebrity, or true and false questions. What category would you like to? Hey?
I'll go for sports.
Sports. Okay. All right. I don't know how current it's going to be, but let's take a look at what the sports give us. Okay. Give me a number between 1 and 10.
I'll give you my favorite number, number 6.
Number 6. Okay. All right. Here we go. Number 6. In tennis, what piece of fruit is found at the top of the men's Wimbledon trophy? So I'll read it again. In tennis, what piece of fruit is found at the top of the men's Wimbledon trophy?
I think that one you have to skip me. Hey, I don't know. I have no clue.
You've gone to a pass. You've got to give me something, eh? Think of Federer. Holding that trophy. What is the little the fruit on the top?
Is it Roger Federer holding it? Yeah.
I didn't know either, bro. Half these things I don't know. Okay, I'll give it to you. It's a pineapple.
Pineapple. Is it pineapple?
I mean, who would have thought it? It's not like the UK and Wimbledon you associate with pineapples. It's more like strawberries and cream.
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, anyway, it's a pineapple on the top of the trophy. You'd be glad to know we all learned something new here today.
Wow, thank you. I didn't know. And I'm wearing yellow. I should have known better. I'm wearing yellow.
No, you should have. You should have known better. But anyway, as I said, it's always good to have a bit of fun and realize that we all don't know everything and we're learning a lot in life. Yeah. And we're going to talk a bit about faith and we're going to speak a bit about your journey because all of our journeys in life, when it relates to faith, is the journey of our life. It's not this kind of out there thing that we kind of aiming at. It involves us and our emotions and how we approach things in life and how we go forward for stuff. Now I've known you for many years. Like you've been part of the Bay for a long time. You're a 22-year-old man now and you've grown up. But I remember one of the first stories I heard about you was when you had moved to Cape Town and you knew that you were going to go to Muizenberg High School, but you hadn't been accepted yet to high school. But in faith, you knew that God had said you're in that school. You went and told your parents, I need to go and buy my uniform because I know I'm going to be accepted at that school. Just tell us a little bit about that, eh?
Oh man, so definitely we just arrived in Cape Town 2 years before that, and we're looking for schools to go to. And one of my buddies was playing rugby at Muizenberg High School. So he invited me over to come and join them for a preseason training in December. So I went there. I was like, man, I love this game. I don't know. I couldn't even pass the rugby ball. I couldn't pass or anything. It's my first time playing rugby. And I just liked this school. I just liked the vibe that I could play rugby. When I went back home, I told my mom, I think I'm going to be going to Muizenberg next year. She's like, how do you know that? I just have a feeling. The moment I walked in that school, I just knew this school is for me. Then she was like, oh, so maybe we should start preparing. I was like, yeah, let's go get the uniform. We went to get the uniform. Then we applied on the Monday, applied to go to Muizenberg High School. The same day we got called for an interview. 2 hours later, Mr. Shaw called us for an interview. We went for an interview. Then I bought a file like this with all the accolades I've obtained in my previous years in primary school and everything. And I was accepted immediately. I was like, I'm not taking any chances. I'm taking everything that I've achieved so far. And I got accepted within the same day that I applied. And yeah, that was crazy faith, but I just knew it. I just knew I was going to be accepted in that school.
Yeah, you know when it's faith, when you're purchasing the uniform before you've even entered into the school and stuff, because you just knew. You knew that you knew. Now, so your journey at Muizenberg ended up being an incredible couple of years of your life there. So in your final year, tell us a little bit about, what you were doing and your role in the school. And, obviously rugby became quite a big part of your life that year too.
Yeah. 2017 was quite a crazy year. We're finishing matric, writing matric exams, everything was just matric. And to top it off, I was selected head boy end of 2016, coming 2017. And I was probably the first person in the history of Muizenberg High, because I never went there I only went there in grade 9. I didn't start in grade 8. So I was in grade 9. And then 4 years later, I'm selected head boy. I was chairman of Interact, rugby first team captain. I was a student. I was also part of the CU group, the Christian Movement group. So it was like a lot of responsibilities, like so much that sometimes you look at yourself like, how do I keep on going? Like, I got academics to pursue. I got this, I got that. But at the end of the day, when you look at it now, I mean, just like, damn, I'm so glad I could do it everything, because I don't have regrets. I don't have to say, I could have done that. I did it all, and I gave it my best. So it was quite an interesting journey.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, you did give it your best. And I do remember coming to watch some of your rugby matches there, and the one match between that one school was pretty intense. And I saw your leadership abilities as you gently told all the fathers on the sideline to keep quiet and the referee will handle this match. And they all stood back, and you kind of gave them a little bit of authority there, which was fantastic back then. But then you obviously now you finished school, and you enjoyed that year. It was an incredible time. You were an incredible leader there. Also the prayer meeting that you kind of sustained and got going through those years on the mornings in the school was, fruitful in many ways. But then you leave school and you enter in a whole big world where all of a sudden at school you're somebody, and you feel important, and you've got some status, and you know your place, you're feeling secure, and then you enter into a world where you're a nobody. And you're starting on the bottom of the rung, and you've slowly got to make your way. What were some of your thoughts, leaving school, your plans that you kind of had? What was that thinking that you had around there?
Oh man, I think I was like 18, 19. So basically when you leave school, you have this big idea in your head, like I'm going to UCT, I'm going to play rugby for UCT, I'm going to play, and all these crazy things you're thinking about. Obviously, I applied at UCT, I applied at UWC, I applied at Stellies, and I was fortunate enough to be accepted at UCT. And then my mom was like, look, I think we should pay the deposit funds and everything. I was like, yeah, let's do it. The parents paid half the deposit. And then I went to, luckily I applied for a job in Cape Town Fish Market. Then I got a job. I was working now. And working as a junior waiter is scary because you are everyone's puppet now. Everyone's telling you, you do that, you do that, you do that, do that, do that. And it's so scary and intimidating, but I think I was so glad because I know when to talk and I know when to keep quiet. And I just want to observe and learn because I have no clue what it means to serve food and to serve people. And so I became a waiter at Cape Town Fish Market in Canal Walk. Worked there for, I think 8 months. I was working there. To cut the story down, I didn't go study. I ended up working. Coming out of high school, you think you know it all. In the real world, you don't know it all. You got to humble yourself. I learned to humble myself in a massive way. You learn how to serve people, what it means to serve. Like, you meet some nasty customers that don't even care about customer service, whatever it is, and you just got to embrace it all. And coming to work the next day with the same attitude, say, I'm here to serve, I'm here to work. And it was a crazy journey, man, but I got to make some money as well on the side. So it was good.
It's good. And it got to a point where you were going to go starting studying.
Yeah.
And it was probably early 2018 or early 2019. No, I think it was 2018 where you contacted me.
Yeah.
And you were going to go and study, but you just didn't have peace.
Yeah. Basically, I was praying the night before, as I usually do. Pray. That's one thing that I think works for me. It's my formula. When you pray, heaven intercedes. So heaven can't function without us not praying on earth. Yeah. So God needs us to pray for him to function through us. Anyways, I was praying the night before, spending time in my prayer. I'm praying. And I just say, Holy Spirit, I know I'm making money as a waiter. I mean, I'm young, I'm making money. I don't pay rent, I don't pay bills. I'm making money. But I know this is not the life I see myself doing. Many people, they see money, they're like, oh, this is it. Like, I've got a vision of where I want to be and everything. And the Spirit just said, I just felt in my heart, like, nah, don't go study. I prayed about it. I was like, nah, I don't go study. And the next thing I saw, I was calling you after the prayer. I was like, okay, let me just talk to my mentor. And it's another thing to having a mentor, having someone that you talk to regularly when you want to make tough decisions, someone that knows you, that prays with you and pray for you. And I just ringed you and I called you. I was like, man, I don't feel like studying. I don't know how to tell my mom. Remember, she had paid the deposit already. Your son is going to UCT now. And I don't know how to break the news to my parents, to my mom and dad, but I just had to contact someone I trusted for advice. And the Bible encourages us in Proverbs, seek advice. Many advice will make you make good decisions. So I just had to do that. I called you. I remember we met the next morning. And luckily you were coming to my area the next morning, which was crazy. I was like, okay, cool. This must be God. Then you came over to my area in Canal, we talked. And you said, bro, and I think you have taught me this over the past few years I've known you. The years I've known you taught me, if the peace is not there, then you know that God is speaking though. So like the peace was not there and I just knew, man, I'm not gonna go study. And then I was like, man, how do I tell my mom and dad? You just gotta tell them the way it is. And yeah, that was it.
Yeah, no, that's so important, that because when you do lose your peace, you do realize God is showing you something, or there's a route you're going that maybe that's not the plan God's got for you. And it's now that requires faith to be able to, step out of what the plan that everyone else would have and everyone follows, and that's the given, that's what you need to do, that's where you're going to perform. And yes, it is a great avenue to go and be educated, but God clearly had another plan for you. So in that conversation, I remember chatting about the possibilities that guys had spoken to me in the background about, of you being able to go to the UK and spend a year there as a gap year as a student in a church, working there, helping. And that all fell into place and all came about, and really had some incredible favor in that all working out. And I'll maybe just touch briefly on that kind of year that you went, because you still had to wait now a couple of months before you could go later in that year, August, to go to the UK, because their year is different to ours, obviously. And, that time and that season, what did it feel like, rather responding to what God was doing for you rather than just going what everyone would expect of you?
That was crazy, because I remember telling my mom, and I didn't want to jump the gun, like, hey, Pastor Shield came up, like was telling me about this idea to go to the UK. So I told my mom, and she was so calm about it. She was like, dude, like, I respect you to know that you don't want to do something at that age and not having the pressure of like, I'll disappoint my parents. It's good. Then she told me, as long as you're in my house, so now you're not going to school, you're going to be paying some bills, you got to contribute. I'm not just going to let you stay. She was like,
that's well done, Mom.
I was like, that's perfect. I'll contribute to the water bills, whatever it is. And yeah, before going to the UK and the journey, I think it was 6 months before. And it was just a journey of waiting and trusting. And I remember as the church, the Bay City Church, we are on this journey of new wine skin. We were talking a lot about new wine skin. And there was a song called Make Me a Vessel, Make Me an Offering, Make Me Whatever You Want Me to Be. And we are talking, you were on the series of talking about new wine skin, the process the wine goes through before before the wine is tasting good. And it was such a beautiful journey emotionally. It was so emotional because you're thinking, like for me, it was emotional because I've never been to the UK. I've never dreamt of going abroad. I'm a boy who grew up in Capricorn as well. I never dreamt of it. It was overwhelming. Sometimes I'll say, God, is it me? I never dreamt of flying in a plane. Nevertheless, I've never flown in a plane before. So I'm thinking, how is it going to feel? And everything, I was excited. And then, we sat down, we started the visa process, and it went smooth. I was like, damn, this is happening. And I was so excited. I was nervous, everything. But one thing I knew was that the 6 months that was in before we went was a preparation. I was being prepared. Yeah. Although when you're being prepared, you might not know it, but when you're there, like, oh Lord, I thank you for the preparations. And I was prepared, I was getting prepared. And even the time at working at Fish Market, it was all part of preparation because working in a church, nothing about working in the church is exciting as serving. If you don't have the heart of serving, you'll be frustrated for the rest of how many days you're in there. So it was really a good preparation season, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good, and it required some waiting, patience, trusting in God, and all that thing that happened. And then so you eventually went to the UK. You spent that year there from about August right to the other August. And while you were there, you obviously worked within the church, but some opportunities opened up for you. You played at that rugby club, and just tell us a little bit about, because you didn't go with this intention at all for rugby to be on the cards at all. You went there with the understanding of serving in the church, and we'll see what the future holds. But at this club, something happened the one day, and they opened up some opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. When I get there, I was like, the UK is beautiful, man. It's beautiful, but it's very lonely. I mean, I'm from South Africa, and I partially grew up in Freekron, and used to have people around you. And I was just looking online for local clubs. Then I just found one. Trials on Tuesday. We'll see how good you are. Then we'll make a decision. I went there on Tuesday night. I went for the trials, played. They said, come again on Thursday. And I went on Thursday, and the coach said, I'll give you a lift home. Then he just asked about my story. Where are you from and what. I told him a little bit about my story. Then he said, okay, cool. I think I want you to play on Friday. Can you play? I was like, I've got nothing happening on Friday. I'll come and play. I played that Friday, and then I assisted 2 tries. I scored 1 try. And the guy just played. I just love your energy you bring on the field. You just can't. Can you play with us? Have you applied to any clubs? It was like, no. But I didn't know then that in the UK, or in England rather, rugby is for the elite, it's for the privileged. And in South Africa, it's opposite. Rugby is for everyone, like, as long as you're good. So I didn't know that. So as part of all these posh boys, like, okay, cool. When it's time to play, that's some of that gangsterism from my bringing will come out, get ferocious, you don't get so passive on the rug, you come. Yeah, I played rugby for Ealing Trial Finder for that year. I played about 40 games for the club. And yeah, then we got noticed by one of the coaches. You are so consistent. And I trust you that if I send you to the trials, I think you'll get somewhere else. They send us to the trials at Saracens Rugby Club. We went to Sarries, beautiful club. I mean, Saracens are one of the biggest giants in English Premiership. And I went there, got myself, and I just knew when I was there, man, I'm gonna impress. But every child, when you go for trials, you wanna impress the agency, whatever it is. But that day I just thought, I just want to impress by my work rate and my teamwork. And every time I'd get the ball, I'll pass. Or when I pass, I'll just support the guy, follow him. If he chose to pass or score, I was there. And then I just did that. I'll just pass, or if I'm tackling a rack, I get up quickly on my feet. Effort. I was just showing a lot of effort. And it was everyone from the UK. It was everyone. It was about 50 odds of us. Then I think 10 of us got chosen, and I was one of the 10. Next thing, you go for an interview at Wembley. You go for your, fitness tests and everything. And it was just amazing journey. I mean, I had no plan to play rugby. Then from there, I got a scholarship to go play rugby. I was like, wow, this is crazy, because I didn't plan this. While I was still working at the church, while I had a job, 38 hours a week, I was playing rugby. I was a student, and it was just beautiful because when you look at it now, you embrace it. I don't have regrets. I gave it my all. And it's every year. Now I'm 22. That year I was 21. You look at your 21, it's like, man, I gave it my all. Gave it my all. Now you looking at this journey you are in, it's like, how can I give it my all again?
No, that's right. I mean, and so basically, you went to these trials at Saracens, and it was a group of guys. You went through a process, but you were basically offered a scholarship to go to the United States to play rugby, through a varsity there. So now the plan that you have is come back to South Africa for a little while, but you're going to be heading straight back to the UK, and you get a visa, easy peasy. Let's do this. Let me go back to the UK, because your scholarship is only starting in September or August in 2020, and now this is 2019, so you've got some time to kill. Let me be in the UK rather, and I can make some money, and I'll get businesses going, and everything's working, and it's all going well. Okay, and you come back to South Africa, and you're very confident now that, hey man, I'm just going to get a visa and we can get back. And talk us a little bit through the next part of the story now, and what happens, and you're coming back to South Africa.
This is the part that I love the most, because when you have a plan in your head and you want to go with that plan, sometimes it's not always the best plan, So basically, I came back to South Africa. I literally planned this trip to surprise my mom. If it wasn't for my mom's birthday, I wasn't going to come back. So everyone in the UK is telling me, why don't you renew your visa here instead of going to South Africa? I was like, man, I haven't seen my mom in a year. It's her birthday this year. I want to go visit. So I booked my flight for the 13th to arrive in South Africa on the 13th of September, which is my mom's birthday. And I wanted to surprise her with me. I'm your favorite. Let me go home. I arrived at home. Everything is excited. I only came with one luggage bag. I left everything in London. I left all my clothes, all my winter jackets, I've left all my shoes there. I'm only coming home for 3 weeks maximum, then I'm going back. Prior to while I was going back to the UK, I got offered a job again. I got offered 3 jobs. 2 I refused. One I was like, okay, I'll take this one because it sounds good, sounds great. I got offered 3 jobs. I was like, okay, this is a sign. I'm surely needed here. They need some of the Lions flavor in their city. I was like, so I came and I was chilling and I was applying everything. Then I applied for my visa, UK visa. I did everything right. When you're confident, I've just did it right. Can't go wrong. Applied, sent everything to the embassy. Then I think it was 2 weeks later, got an email saying, you must come and collect your stuff. It's like, okay, cool. Then I called you. I was like, man, I think I'm going to collect my stuff. There's something weird about this. Doesn't feel right. I I went to collect it, and I collected it for the letter. So I was very shocked because it usually comes in an envelope. Everything is in an envelope when they return everything. I was like, wow, that means something. I'm quite nervous. I'm alone, you know. And I opened the letter and say, sorry, you know, the new rules because of Brexit, we have introduced new rules regarding the immigration stuff, and we would want you to apply after 6 months and what. I didn't even read the rest of the letter. I just read what it was really. And in that moment, man, I was shattered. I was like, Lord, what now? It's not the fear of like, oh, I'm not at home. I'm not going back to the UK. I don't have a plan B. What now? And I remember just crying. I just literally cried as I opened that letter. But then this song just played in my mind from Jane Johnson. It's like, all my life you have been faithful.
Come on, man.
And I'm getting tears now. But I was just, that song began to sink in my brain. All my life you have been faithful. And I just began to sing it. And I read it and I called it. It's like, man, I refused. It's like, oh my God, just hang in there. But that was a defining moment for me because I went home, I worshipped. I worshipped. I said, Lord, I thank you. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what I'm going to be doing here for the rest of this year, but I thank you. And that was it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, I mean, we've all experienced shattered dreams or the plans that we've set in place, and now it's gone. And it feels like it's all been taken from you. But what a powerful response to respond in worship, because life is full of tests. God is going to test our faith to see how we respond. So it doesn't mean that the plan that you had is not the plan that God's got, and he's still going to fulfill these things and work them out for you. But it's this letting go and actually having trust in him, knowing, I mean, again, it's Proverbs 16 verse 9. He said, you know, man sets his path, but it's the Lord who orders his steps. You know, and you set your course, you know where you're going, you know what, but it's in the steps that you take where you're going to get tested, where it looks like it's all been taken from you. You can give up and say, oh, well, that's not like, and go back to waitering in a restaurant and think, well, this is my lot now. And this is it, because clearly, and I think this is key, where we don't truly know God, we're going to struggle to have faith and trust in him, because again, as I say, faith is not faith in things and stuff. It's faith in the person of Jesus Christ. And when you have trust in him, you realize his plans are always good for you. And it's not a giving up. It's like, okay, God, how's this going to play out now? How are you going to work this? How is this going to play out? So you now stuck in South Africa with no clothes and staying back at home with your mom, and you're kind of wondering, you know, how things are going to work out. Then you get an opportunity to be able to be a part of academy here locally, and a door opens for you now. You know, this year 2020 has been a bit crazy, but essentially that's what. Just tell us a little bit about the academy. But the plans for the America are not off. There's still a reality of that happening. You just didn't let it go. It's now by faith, the trusting that God still opens the doors. But just give us a little, you know, story. What happened? You know, you ended last year, you're back, and you somehow get an opportunity to be with what you're doing now. Just maybe share how that all played out.
Yeah. So basically, back here, now visa's gone. There's no more UK. I don't have clothes as well. I'm at home at my mom's house. I mean, the greatest thing I think I learned from me, man, is just, you know, saving finances. Because I was working, I was in, you know, intern, I was making money. So I saved, and I already done everything. I mean, done for myself, and I mean, I was saving. So I had a little bit of saving left with me. I was thinking, man, what can I do? My mind is really thinking forward. We fail forward. We don't fail backward. I wasn't going to a waiter. Many managers saw me like, boy, you know, you're a great person. Can you come back work for us? No, I'm not coming back there. Not because it's pride, but, you know, you got to fall forward. You got to look forward. You know, it's gone. That is the past. It's done. What can I do now? And I just saw this ad on Instagram I saw an email in my junk emails from Western Province. Say, look, we saw you in 2017. Would you still be interested in Western Province? We're having an academy in Claremont, what. Then I sent my CV. Boom, done. I sent my rugby CV as well. You gotta have 2 CVs. Your CV and your rugby CV. I sent both CVs through. And the next thing, 2 days later, I got invited for an interview. I went for an interview. And the power of just carrying a folder again, carried my folder. This is me. And the guy was like, dude, what are you waiting for? Show me what you got. Get changed. Let's go to the field. So we went to the gym. We did whatever we did. We went to the field. We did whatever we did. And I said, we'll call you. And that was it. I was like, are you serious? You called me all the way and say, we will call you. I'm expecting some good news at least. But then I went home and, 2 days later, I got all called. Look, we are giving you because we see you really take your academics seriously. We are giving you a study to play rugby scholarship at Western Province Rugby Academy. And you can still pursue your dream to go play rugby in America and everything else. So that was by faith. I didn't expect that. It was not part of, I don't have a plan B. Whenever I want to do something, I want to have a plan A, and we stick to that plan A. If it doesn't work out, God has a plan. That his plan is better than my plan. But it was just that. And yeah.
Beautiful. Eh? I mean, so this year you've been a part of that academy. You've stayed at a lodge with guys, and you've been training hard. I mean, I've seen some of your videos you showed me. You guys are pulling tractor tires along and climbing around doing stuff, but you're loving it. And it's amazing how, all that way back in Muizenberg High School, playing rugby with those guys and not really knowing much about rugby, but your heart being caught up and stirred, and then slowly but surely kind of the doors are kind of opening for you, and this academy thing comes open, and you part of that this year. But the plan for America is still on board. You've had to write that exam, and you passed the exam, right? That's all gone through. But it's still by faith now. You don't just, that line, you rest on your laurels and go, oh, well, it's gonna all work out. You keep pursuing by the little steps. It might not be the ultimate step, but it's the stepping stones towards where you ultimately feel God's going to lead you and go, So, I mean, how's it been at the academy this year? It's been, obviously COVID kicked a lot of it in its teeth, and you didn't have a lot of it, but you've enjoyed it, eh?
Absolutely love it. I love playing rugby. I love working hard. I love the grind. Nothing, when I wake up and I'm going to the training session, it's just going to be a good day, man. And I don't care how hard you're going to work. I just look forward to it. And it's crazy how you got to have faith, because within we went to a camp for a week. We came back and we're getting ready for the season. And during one of the training sessions, I got injured, my ankle, boom. And you start thinking, oh my Lord, what is going on? And they tell you like, you're going to be out for 8 weeks. Mind me, like, but it's by faith. You keep going, say, no, it's going to work out. It's that attitude. And I think for me, what I've learned also playing rugby, being injured, you must know. It must become one of your I knows. Like for me, I know that I'll be well. I know that I'll get better. I know, not because of anything, but I know that nothing is forever. That injury wasn't forever. Many people quitted when they got injured in the first 2 weeks. They're like, I'm going home. I'm like, I don't quit. We don't do that. We finish. We finish what we start. And now then COVID happened. I didn't play a game this year. I didn't play. My mates played. I never played a game. I was injured. We came back. Happened. Many guys left again. And I understand why they left. Then, few of this, an academy of 50 people, now about 30 of us staying. And you see people giving up day in, day out because of COVID. It just shows, like the generation you're growing up. Are we a generation of quitters or generation of persevere? We have to persevere through things. COVID happened. No one planned it. What are we going to do about it? That's my mindset. What are we going to do now, Sean? So then now my mind's fixed. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to give our best to whatever is left to the rest of this year, because we know, life is full of seasons. Nothing lasts forever. The only thing that is permanent in this life is God. Everything is temporary. So COVID happened, but we're still looking forward to the rest of the year, man.
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. And you are giving your very best efforts in it and how you go. And the whole point of faith, as we're saying here, is that it's not the, it's the failures that come along don't mean now, oh, well, that you just give up. You keep believing and keep trusting. But faith is also not, mind power and willpower. And, I will just keep believing positive thoughts and this thing will come about. It's that relationship with a Savior that has a plan for you, you know, and you walk and you believe in what He's got for you. So you've walked through the disappointment of getting a rejection visa letter and the shedding tears over those things and the reality of the failure, in a sense, the disappointment, and then another door opens. Your eyes are still set on being in America, depending now how travel kind of works out. It hasn't ended, but these opportunities are still opening up. You've had some finance that was given to you towards that to help with the tests and exams. God amazingly provided for you, but there's still the dream that's still ahead of you. And, you know, you've got great stuff in store. So, you know, again, what I say, you know, faith is not faith in stuff and things. It's belief in the one, your maker and your Savior. You know, so I just want to commend you, bro, for keeping trusting. You're a positive person, but faith doesn't come from being positive. Faith comes from being tested. You know, and you have been tested, and you've walked through the fire, you walked through the tests. And again, now in this academy, it's challenging your character, it's challenging integrity, all the realities of dealing with people around you. That's the verse that I love. Jesus grew in stature with both God and man. You know, and who cares that, you know, you've got an amazing relationship with God, but you're terrible with people and people don't like you. You know, that's the point, is you're growing in that character and stature with people. And I can see that happening with you. So I just want to thank you for just talking through things in your life and the stories. And I trust that this would be an encouragement to all other younger people who are, you know, it's not shooting for the stars and hoping for the big dreams. It's what God's lays in your heart, that you've got faith to believe for, not to give up on those things. And I know many of your friends, you talk through them, you encourage them to believe for these things that you've laid on your hearts that God has placed in you, and you will walk in them. You will see the fulfillment of them. So I just want to encourage you, bro. And I know that by the end of this year, you will be in the States, and the doors will be opened. And you know, a great opportunity, I think, to be there for about 4 years with a scholarship there to study and play rugby and that. But maybe leave us with some positive inspiration, because you are an inspiring guy, and maybe just leave us with a quick message of inspiration to those who've had failures, who've had disappointments, and you're still young in your life. You're going to face these things again, but the victories that you walk through now will give you courage for later on in your life. So leave us with some inspiration.
All right. Thank you. First of all, I need to thank you. Thank you. The first thing that I'll say to anyone watching there, any young person, old, whatever you are, get connected to people that are in alignment with God's heart. That's it. So all the confidence that oozes off me is from the foundations of people that have walked before me. I know I use this line a lot. It takes 21 years to be 21 years old, not 21 days. So you need a mentor. Get someone older or wiser. Mentor, get mentors around you. You know, in finances, I have a mentor in finances, in fitness, every area of my life. I need people that have walked the journey before me. I think that's number one. Be humble by getting this mentor. Allow them to walk through you. Then secondly, I'll say, know who you are. You're a child of God. You are a child of God. And when you're a child of God, God will never set you up for disappointment, because your success is good for His glory. So He works all things together for our good and for His glory. So it's never for us or our personal gain. So there's nothing to fear looking forward to the future. There is absolutely nothing to fear, because we are all created in the image of Christ. And through His image, as we live this life, it's like we are His manufacturers. You know, Toyota, they build a car, they trust that car will function well. And the same thing with us. We are created in the image of God, not the image of Toyota. And He trusts that we'll function well in this lifetime. So that would be my inspiration from the Lion Munemo King to everyone in the world. Be positive and trust God, man. He's good.
Come on. That's outstanding, my bro. It's been really good to just catch up and chat with you. And I'm sure this will be an encouragement to many guys. So signing off, thanking everybody for listening in. Thanks for your honesty. Thanks for your testimony. Bless you, my bro.
Blessings.
We'll catch up soon. Okay, man. Cheers now. Bye.